Welcome to a new era of wrestling podcasts, where the hot takes, fantasy booking, nostalgic trips, and everything that happens in your day-to-day life always comes back to the squared circle. It's the Everything is Pro Wrestling podcast with Mike DeSilva, Josh Flanagan, and Nick Flanagan.
And we are back, baby. Little 2-week hiatus for that ass. Yeah. Everything is Pro Wrestling Podcast, episode 29.
29.
We just had to do some research to confirm that.
Does that make us the Dry Slidle episode? Isn't he 29, I think?
Oh,
that's
yeah.
a good one.
That's a good one.
That's
29. Who else? 29. DeMarco Murray.
Yep.
I don't know why he was the first person. Like, he's got to be better 29s than DeMarco Murray.
I just had a thought. Did Leon Washington wear 29 at a point? Now I'm digging deep when we're going to fucking
Leon Washington, 29. It's got to be
I love
better.
because he was a Florida State Seminole, but he was also a Pro Bowler with the Jets many a time as a returner. But hey,
has there ever been an NBA player with the number 29?
Not
I'm sure there has.
Maybe
but like
the Celtics because they have like 75 retired numbers.
Yeah, that is true. It's just one of those numbers. Like I feel like most numbers with 9, like even I think a 19 is a little better, right? Because I think a Keyshawn Lance Allworth 19.
Johnny Unitas.
Johnny Unitas.
Good number.
Yeah. 9 itself is good.
But then you think 39? Ugh.
Right.
49? Even like 15? Like
49, Tim Wakefield?
Oh,
no, it's 48.
49ers.
49ers. Okay, fair play.
Pretty great number.
Fair play to you, lad.
I guess that's what we're celebrating. The whole team.
Yeah, that's right.
The whole squad.
They need something.
We're not talking about the NFL fandom in here. I am 10-0 in my Dynasty League.
We're not?
No.
That's the only reason why I showed up today.
No, 10-0 in my Dynasty League. So I'm very proud of that.
The last time.
What is Jerry Jones in his Dynasty League?
I know. What are you talking about? Who? Who's that?
He's sunblind is what he is. You actually got got curtains.
Yeah. Okay. So
blocking out the haters, man.
Let's get some things out of the way.
Yeah,
all right.
You got to introduce them.
The curtains?
I think our surroundings as a whole.
To our new setup, yes. So
hence the sabbatical.
Yeah.
Been a 2-week sabbatical. Life has lifed, okay? Found out a couple weeks ago, no longer have my full-time gig at the radio station, Hot 106. There will be, I will eventually do some video addressing that. Nothing bad. It's business. It's radio business. Anybody that knows the radio business, especially these days, knows that a lot of this shit is inevitable, and they're never going to let you know ahead of time if it's going to happen.
No.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately,
I may or may not be drawing up a lawsuit. Me in the middle of litigation.
Oh no!
Just,
listen,
not even on your behalf. Just as a fan.
Oh, as a fan.
Just
as a fan,
like
I respect
someone
that.
who grew up with it.
Yeah.
It hurt a lot of us.
I gotta say, like, there was a lot of things. There's a lot of things that I will say, and I'm not there yet. Okay, I've been enjoying a couple weeks. For best I can. A lot of other life has happened too. Things are good. Everything's okay. But yeah, with that happening, it puts a lot of things into perspective. I had to take some time and wanted to make sure that I'm giving the best me for this show, as these guys deserve, because we take the time to do it every week, and so we're good. Life is good. Also, with that being said, been able to do some revamping of the L Studio here. So I unfortunately can't make it any bigger. Okay, so that's one thing that I can't change. We cannot make it any bigger.
Not yet.
That's when the weather gets nicer again.
We gotta
knocking some shit down.
We gotta talk to like the Doctor Who people and figure out how'd you do that shit.
Exactly. But don't worry, I do have some ideas to do that eventually. But I did, I was able to kind of hone in some of the. I was able to bring my whole full computer PlayStation setup down here, set up all of our stuff pretty well. I put up some new curtains, so it's nice and dark in here, even though we record at night.
Well, we record at night now, but
listen, man,
6
the
months from
daylight
now, it's
needs
going to
saving.
be
True.
Sunny out.
If we don't save the daylight,
Exactly,
who will?
right.
Exactly. Listen, if saving the daylight was an actual thing, I would do everything in my power, because I fucking hate the dark.
I hate it.
And I hate the wintertime.
Depressing.
And people who like the wintertime, I need you to be checked out, evaluated mentally, because the wintertime sucks.
This
I
knew you were going to say that.
That makes sense.
You know what's weird though?
That checks out.
I weirdly like both.
Summer and winter?
I do, yeah. I like when it's sunny out till 8 o'clock, but I also kind of like when it's dark at like 4:30.
When I have nothing to do.
Exactly, that's my thing.
That's the only thing. If I have absolutely nothing to do and I can like go home straight from work, this is my favorite part about this time of year is like the days when I get out. I work a traditional like a 9 to 5 type of gig. If I can get at 5, go straight home. take a shower, be in pajamas by like 6 on the couch. I love it. I love this type of environment for that because it makes me want to do that. When it's sunny out, I don't want to do that.
Oh, see, I'll still do that when it's sunny out. I'll just open the shades at that point.
I will do it too. Not that I want to, but give me sun until 8 o'clock. And I think that's just the kid in me.
Yeah.
You know, remember being a kid, you knew you had that extra time. You could really go fucking all night outside until you could hear the screams of mom from down the street. But like, I absolutely would prefer the sun. But when I have nothing to do, give me the darkness.
That's the thing.
Fine.
Like, that's the thing. I really don't have a preference of one over the other. I do genuinely really like both.
Yeah. See, I was adopted by it. You were born.
I was born into the darkness. That's right.
Yeah. I hate the darkness and I hate the cold. Two things.
I do hate the cold. I will give you that.
I will never like them.
Although weirdly, I need my room to be cold when I go to bed. I can't sleep in a warm room.
Air conditioning
That's
exists.
fair. Yeah. Oh, no, I agree.
I like
right.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
you can throw on the AC if that's the
100%.
case.
I'm just saying I need I don't like the cold like you, but I do need a cold room to then pull out blankets when I go to bed.
Can we get like just 2 days in a row of the same weather?
Yeah.
Is that too much to ask for? Like, do we have to go from sunny and 75 to fucking windy as hell and 35 from day to day? Like, my immune system's not built for this.
No,
that's New England for you.
I know.
I wish we also would have had half of the dryness that we have this year, that last year instead, because last year it rained from the summer all the way through the winter, and then I had floods in my basement. So I wish that would have happened. Like, give me half of that, and I wouldn't even have had the floods. At least I know the water table is very low. But we've made some changes in here, different setup. It's going to continue to get better. And we're going to add some more additions. Also, you can't see the full screen, which is probably best because I don't know if that would make me get taken down. We do have N64 on a classic CRT TV.
Shout out to Prairie Saturn.
Yeah, there's been the same. It's only been 5 guys eliminated from this Royal Rumble on No Mercy since we put this on about 20 minutes ago. Yeah. So that is going to happen. That we'll update you right now. Who's in there?
Like every time you talk Plan of Man, we're going to catch a little bit of it.
Triple H. Stevie Richards and Perry Saturn.
Very good.
BWO, man.
Yeah, shout out to BWO. So we got No Mercy going on in the background. We got the merch everywhere. And so the studio feels right. Feels better.
It does.
Here.
No, it does.
Feels like a real vibe now.
I'm saying it feels more open. I feel like I can now be more open.
Yes.
I'm not closed in like I was before.
Wow, look at that. This is like
now my emotions can now truly come out.
I love this. This is awesome.
Well, that's why I put the dark shades, the blackout shades, because I want this to be like a therapy. I want the boys to pull up of Everything's Pro Wrestling and be like, let me just get it all out.
Yeah.
All right. So anything else you guys are on your mind? What else is on your mind?
You know what?
I think we're gonna get into a lot of it.
Well, I actually do have a super off-topic one that I wasn't even gonna bring up.
It's only right.
You guys ever have like this feeling of like there's this band you really like, right? And they haven't put out anything good in a long time, but you still love them, so you're gonna listen to their stuff.
Yeah, I'm a Kanye West fan.
Then they put out something new, and you're tentative, and you're like, do I want to listen to this?
Oasis?
What if it's not good? No, for me, it's The Cure.
Oh.
The Cure 2 weeks ago put out. They're probably one of my top 10 favorite bands of all time. And 2 weeks ago, they put out a new album that I still haven't listened to yet because I'm like, what if it's not good?
Yeah,
I tend to do that often with a lot of artists. That if I love them, especially from a certain time period or a certain album, 100%, I'm like, fuck, did I only like them because of that time period, because of that specific track, album, etc. in their life, and 100% feel that. But when was the last time they dropped music?
So this is the first one in 16 years.
Okay.
16 years. God damn.
Yeah, you should have a lot of reservations.
That's what I'm saying.
That makes sense. That makes
the one that came out 16 years ago, it kind of sucked.
That makes sense.
No offense.
You're really going to have to temper.
They really haven't done a good one since 92, and now I'm like, ooh. But everybody's talking this one up like it's so good.
That's 32 years ago, brother.
I know. But I'm like, is this one actually as good as people are saying, or are they talking it up because like it's the first one in a while, so they want it to be good?
And the thing is, you're never going to know until you listen.
Exactly, that's the thing.
You got to do it. Maybe go for like a nice ride. Maybe like a nice long ride when you're in the car for an hour, listen to it that way. Or maybe as soon as you get home from work and it's dark out, close all the blinds and then hit play.
Especially for The Cure, perfect band for this time of year.
Well, here's where everything is pro wrestling. We do this all the time in wrestling with nostalgic acts, right? Wrestling, I know we as millennials are very nostalgic, right? And I don't know. There's probably some psychology behind that. I mean, No Mercy playing in the background. Maybe the evolution of Sting figures over the Super Mario Brothers.
Oh shit! I just noticed that Super Mario World. Yeah, that's dope.
As much as I love pro wrestling, I also am a Super Mario mark. It's a me. I can't really explain it. I just love Mario. I love the characters. I love the art. I love the style. Big Mario guy. Shout out to Luigi.
Also, live action movie is one of my favorite movies.
Live action movie is so underrated.
All the Goombas. It's
I love it.
It's so good because it's so bad.
It's so good because it's so bad.
But that's why you love it.
It is literally I feel like the only definition is that movie was made by a sentient bag of cocaine.
Yeah. Oh,
So,
100%.
That movie is
I love that.
insane.
Yeah.
I love it too. It's great.
Hello.
The Goombas.
Did you ever watch a Super Mario like Super Show?
Yes.
Yeah.
That show was terrible too.
Yeah,
but it was
yeah.
also great at the same time.
Right.
There was so
But
many.
that one fit within the Mario
It was
video
like the
game universe.
late 80s.
The live action
Yeah. It
doesn't.
It didn't. And
Why
maybe
is
that's
Bowser a human with spiky hair?
Yeah.
Why is Dennis Hopper Bowser?
It's so funny
Live
because
action.
there is this one picture of, again, why everything is pro wrestling, even though this isn't pro wrestling, but it is. There's a picture of Fat Joe in Big Pun.
Hell
I
yes.
think it's like a BT Awards, Source Awards, maybe.
They would not fit in this room.
And they
No.
are suited in
No
they
shot.
would. Absolutely not. Certainly not the suits they were wearing in the picture. They're wearing these suits at this award show, and there's a meme. They're side by side with the Goombas in the elevator
Ugh.
from
Yeah.
the movie.
Yep.
Same person, same people. Like both like 6'4", 6'2", suits out here. Like make the 2003 draft suits look like slim fit suits. It's amazing. And every time I see that photo, I just think of the Goombas in the elevator.
That's
it's fucking so
fantastic.
good.
They also look like. They also look like the Kanye and Lil Pump music video for
Yes,
I
yeah,
Love It,
yep.
where they're wearing those big suits. Shout out to my girl Becca Berger. We did that for Halloween one year and it went super viral.
That's cool.
So yeah, that's a great callback right there because that picture of Fat Joe and Big Pun is like how I guess it's R.I.P. But I guess we
Yeah.
kind of find out why you can't be that big.
Yeah.
That is
Shout out to Big Pun, one of the greatest of
Although-
all time.
He had just
I'm
lost
gonna
100
test
pounds. He was
that.
trying to live.
I know,
God damn it.
tough. Not to bring things down, but this is a wrestling show at the end of the day. Well, Flanny, I didn't give you a chance. Do you have anything you want to get off your chest at all? Or? We got the Cure album.
Well, we can't talk about the Eagles game the other day, so
Well, what the fuck,
I'll
dude?
keep that in the
like you know,
compartment.
I'm
I'll
having a
save
tough
that.
couple weeks, bud.
No, you know what?
all
You
right,
should-
come on
you
now.
shouldn't be able to because I didn't get to talk about the Niners one because we didn't record for
But
like 2 weeks after that.
To be fair, the Niners' performance didn't hold a candle to the Eagles' performance. But no, I
But
won't
we
hold
all-
it
we
against
actually
you.
had to go against
It's
Dak
not
at
your
least.
fault. I don't blame you. I actually empathize and sympathize with you. You don't deserve this. Nobody really deserves this, except for all those people they caught during the game
Yes.
as memes.
Yes.
Those people deserve it. But you certainly don't deserve it. No, I don't think any. I don't think so.
I just don't
think
care
so.
about the
I miss
Dallas
Samantha
Cowboys.
Irvin.
Either. I miss Samantha. Okay,
I
that's
think
fair.
we can all agree on that.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I miss Samantha Irving.
And we're going to talk about her in a little bit because she had some tweets. She was active on Twitter today or X, whatever. I'm never going to call it X.
Forever
I'm always gonna call it Twitter.
It's Twitter. Certainly, as long as Elon Musk is running X, it's Twitter to me.
Yeah.
I'm
And
sorry.
It's always going to be. I don't give a fuck
Yeah.
what Elon wants me to call it. I'm
Yeah.
going to call it Twitter.
Sorry, Elon.
I just have other things I want to say that this is not a political show.
You and me
Believe
both,
me,
brother.
yeah.
Oh boy, God.
Pun intended.
We are
brother.
actually alive, right? This is not simulation.
I
Well,
hope
it's funny.
so.
I said that today at work, and I was like, I'm pretty sure. Like someone said, fever dream, and I was like, yeah, I think this is simulation.
That's-
I think
Yeah.
we're gonna wake up one day, or at least maybe I'm hoping that. I don't know.
The past like 3 weeks for me have felt like a fever dream for
especially,
sure.
Especially, yeah, you can't escape it.
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm stuck in it.
I've
I
tried
know
my
because I
best.
haven't
8
been at
hours a
work
day.
every day. Like not seeing my car must be feeling like a fever dream for you.
Yeah.
Oh wait, you're talking about something else?
That's right. Well, no, I thought I saw you. Oh, that's right. That was off
No,
camera.
that was just a ghost of me in the corridors of Cumulus Providence.
I still hear your voice every now and then. Like, oh, Mike?
Nope.
Oh, no.
Nope, just the mice in the walls.
Just probably. Well,
It's just the fucking-
if that's what holds the walls up in that
Yeah.
building.
I'm scared. If they were to take those walls down, probably a lot of mouse shit.
Oh, 1,000%.
I mean, it's an old building. It's by
Yeah.
it's by a swamp. What do you want?
I've seen mice in the building.
oh,
like with my
yes,
own eyes.
I smell them. The
I
dead
saw-
ones.
You are officially the Uncle
I was-
Bruno of Cumulus now.
I was
Uncle
in
Bruno.
Bruno, you haven't seen it?
Uncle Bruno.
Seen that movie? You have a daughter, so you will see
Oh,
that one.
Encanto?
Encanto,
Okay.
yeah.
I still haven't seen that either.
Kanto's
but
so good.
You know, I
So
haven't.
good.
I haven't
a good
seen.
film.
Okay, so Encanto, I haven't seen.
I haven't seen it either yet.
Which I have.
Which checks out. I saw it with little nieces, so that
I
makes
have
sense.
6
You-
nieces,
yeah.
and they love all things Disney. And,
Yeah.
and for
I
some
have-
reason, I missed that one.
I have
Good
two
one.
little
It's a
nieces
good
who
one, man.
use my Disney Plus account. And
Same,
yeah,
same.
and
Like
I
I'm almost
still haven't
getting
watched
like
it
the.
either.
Did you log
Right,
in from
exactly, yeah.
Lutz, Florida? And I'm like, sure.
Right.
I haven't seen that one, but the one musical Disney movie that I am absolutely obsessed with, also watch when I need to really cry, is Coco.
Yes.
Yeah.
Coco
Incredible.
is an amazing. It's
Yeah.
an amazing movie, and it makes you bawl your fucking eyes out.
If
so
you don't, you have no emotion.
Yeah, you have
They're
no.
good for that.
You have no
You're a
soul.
robot.
They're good for that. No,
Oh
check
my
out
God, it's so
Encanto.
good.
There's also a character, not even loosely based on Raquel Rodriguez. I am convinced that character was built off of Raquel Rodriguez. Ironically enough.
Because it's all about her back.
Yeah. It's a great movie.
Encanto.
I think the second one might be coming out. Maybe I'm confusing that Moana, which
Well, Moana
Moana
too is
is
coming
Moana's
out.
which is absolutely
coming out, too.
wrestling. So
Yeah.
we're back.
And a live action Moana.
Also, you know what's interesting? Sorry, now I'm here. But Coco, and then the other one that I know of that's very much about music for Pixar was Soul. both also about death.
Fuck Soul.
Yeah.
Fuck Soul.
I know, but it's such
It's
a good
so
movie.
good.
No, it's not.
It is. It's heartbreaking.
No, it's not.
But it's just so
so
well
good.
done. It's so well done.
Okay, I will stand on this take. People who suffer from depression, do not watch Soul.
Yeah.
No, that I agree with.
I think it came out during the pandemic.
It did. It
And
did.
I am
very closely.
I am somebody who is medicated for anxiety and depression. Should not have watched Soul. You know, I don't want to question my existence when I can't leave the fucking house for 2 years. Okay, Disney.
But to be
Fuck
fair,
Soul.
that kind of goes against my point, though. My point was, why are the two Pixar movies about music also about death?
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Coco was about kind of life at the same time and appreciating life.
But it's still the whole thing is he goes into the afterworld and has to come back. And Soul is the same thing. Jamie Foxx goes.
He wasn't 27
into
in the movie,
afterworld
is he?
Oh shit, he might have been.
Well, you know the Pixar theory.
Yes,
You guys know
they're
the
all-
Pixar.
they're all
Yeah, so
connected.
that just saying.
But it's just weird that the only two about music are also about death.
Yeah.
Why? Explain that. Give me a third one where you explain that to me, Pixar, please.
Yeah.
Maybe the people at Pixar took ego death to create musical movies. Ego death is like some type of like hallucinogenic drug that a lot of artists have taken, and maybe it's
Well, I mean, yeah, especially though, like all those Disney films. Especially, I feel like when we got older, they were like look back and see like how creepy and weird some of that shit was. Like the language they used, the how they set things up. Was absolutely the people who were behind that were on some good stuff.
fuck Soul. I couldn't sleep for a week after that movie. It almost ruined my life. All right. We have some wrestling to talk about. That was fun, and I'm glad that we were able to use this as a little bit of a therapy session. And our love for Disney and Pixar, they're incredible. The Bloodline, we are all in now. Okay, so the Bloodline made up, I want to say, about 50% of SmackDown this past week.
Yeah,
which I'm not.
As it should.
Again, goes to show why it is arguably the greatest storyline, at least a top 3 storyline in WWE history.
I think I'm there.
I think I'm there too. The longevity of it and how good it still is.
Yeah.
We forget Austin McMahon wasn't that long.
No.
It was really only what, three and a half years?
If that even.
Not even
know
the time
it
he took
really
off.
kind of falls out by like 99.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
So it's like 98.
because he was gone all 2000.
Really, I thought late 97, but yeah.
He was gone all 2000 basically,
Right.
and then he came back 01 and it settled at Mania 17.
Yeah.
Right.
And
So-
it didn't even feel the
But
same.
even like before he injures himself in 99, like it's already starting to fall off.
Yes.
And then they try to pick it back up, and then it falls off again. Like,
and there was so many auxiliary pieces
Exactly,
around it at that
right.
point that
Yeah.
it didn't have, what made it what it was.
And you were also building another babyface in The Rock with the corporate,
yeah,
and you had,
you could see that kind of twist and turn. But yeah, I would argue it today. I don't know what fucking day it is. Wednesday, November 13th. Oh wow, actually, this is the anniversary of my engagement. Hey, wife.
There you go.
3 years ago today. Shout out to her.
Shout out to her. Shout out to
but
y'all.
Yeah, so I would make the argument now. I think it's arguably the greatest storyline of all time.
The only one that
And we're
I
only
think,
in season 4. Remember,
the only one that I think gives it a run for its money to me is still Hogan Savage. The Magna Powers exploding is up there, but like I think it's debatable too. Like I don't think it's definitively one or the other. Like I could easily see.
and even then, do you remember the
Bloodline
timing
debate.
on that? How long that was?
It's basically Mania 4 to Mania 5.
Okay, so
Yeah, it's not that
a
long.
year, right? Exactly.
Yeah.
It's 1 year.
Yeah, I just think the bloodline and how deep it is with actual family members, and then you're bringing in Sammy Uso.
Right.
That was incredible. And I mean, I marked out. I'm a simple man.
I liked it.
I enjoy simple things.
Crown
I got a
Jewel.
hot take later.
I have.
So we had a question. We knew this Bloodline War Games was inevitable, right?
Yeah.
We've been talking about this for months now, basically since Mania, that they were going to set up for some sort of Bloodline War Games. We weren't sure if they were going to do your traditional 5-on-5. We were like, maybe this will be a 4-on-4. Maybe it's just going to be Sammy on one end, and then you got the 4 of Solo's Timu Bloodline on the other.
That's what they did in NXT. I don't think they ever did 5-on-5 in NXT. They did 3-3-3 the first year, and then ever since then, I think it was 4-on-4.
Yes, because
Yeah,
there was
so
always
the
there was
McAfee
two.
year-
I was gonna say 2 back-to-back years on
Adam
There was the
Cole-
4 of them.
That was 4-on-4?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
It was
yeah.
Cole,
O'Reilly,
O'Reilly, Strong, and
the other
Fish.
crazy
That's
guy
right.
we don't speak. Oh, they
Right.
Bobby Fish.
So name him. Okay,
Yeah.
but here's the thing. It would have been okay and would have made plenty of sense if they would have just done the 4-on-4.
Right.
Now it's time to break down. Okay, so they are implementing the 5th guy. They've made it a thing.
Yeah.
They acknowledged it Monday.
Yeah.
After SmackDown ended last week, where you saw Sammy make his decision and he ended up giving the haluva kick to Solo.
So am I the only one who didn't like that segment at all? I'm going to be completely honest. Based on what I've seen online, I very much am in the minority. I have not liked this rejoining of the original Bloodline storyline, because nothing makes sense.
Yeah,
they haven't explained why anybody's doing anything, and then they contradict themselves.
Yes.
Sammy says, "I need you to apologize to Jay." He doesn't. And then at the end of the night, he's throwing his ones up.
Yeah.
Which dates back all the way to your take weeks ago where it was like the Jay.
Right. They still haven't explained why Jay's come back into this.
That's been my frustration. And I think we all know the reason why. Well, I won't say that. But we've talked about for the last couple months, is it going to be War Games 2024 or is it going to be War Games 2025?
Right.
Because where we were, just weeks ago, we were nowhere near expecting to see Bloodline versus Bloodline for War Games 2024. A few months ago, absolutely. Just a month ago, there's no way I saw it happening.
Right.
And now that is my fear, and I think that is my frustration, and part of my hot take is they are rushing the shit out of this to try to get it to War Games 2024, which I get in grand scheme of things probably makes sense.
Right.
A year
story
from now,
that fits it.
Exactly. It makes sense. But also, if that was the case, why did you, at least seemingly from our perspective, deviate from that a few months ago, coming out of SummerSlam and etc.? If you knew that's where you wanted to go. It feels like they're now pivoting at the last minute and rushing the shit out of everything to get us to War Games, even including the 5-on-5, which I don't think makes sense. Just keep it 4-on-4. It makes so much sense in the world. And it's not even a slight to Sami Uso.
No.
It's a fucking slight to who else is coming on the other side.
Right.
We see what the speculation is. I know we'll get into it. Who might be who they've been talking. There is maybe 2 or 3 people in total to go on either side, Team of Bloodline, OG Bloodline, that I think makes sense. And I don't think it's any of the folks who are going to end up being that 5th man. I just don't get it.
But also, like, they haven't explained why anybody's done anything they've done, and then they're contradicting them. So the go home SmackDown to Crown Jewel, Jay throws up his one, and then in the match on Crown Jewel the next night, he's like, I can't trust Roman.
Yes.
You just fucking acknowledged the guy.
Yeah.
But was that not also when Roman was giving him very much of a stink eye and a side eye? Like, you could feel it all around.
It definitely felt like it was more from Jay's perspective than from Roman's.
Like, everything in the corner. He wouldn't tag him in. He wouldn't do anything. No, 100%. And like you said to Friday, it didn't make sense the way it went. It's like, and especially now, it's like maybe that's something you could have got away with a few years ago. Not even a few years ago, a while ago. Where and no knock to fans. I would say less smarks and more just naive kayfabe people maybe would have. But the fan now, us, we're not buying any of that. We can see right through it. So it's like, I just don't get it.
My biggest problem is the very current Bloodline story feels very Vince. Like this feels like how Vince
rushed, kind of like try to forget history.
Because think about Crown Jewel. Sammy comes out, hugs Solo, exploder suplex.
Yeah.
Then the next SmackDown, Solo. It's like, whose side is he going to be on? We already fucking know. We saw him turn on Solo.
Yeah.
Why is he now? Why are we now teasing he might join with Solo? We already know he's not going to.
And I don't know if you guys saw this. This could be a reason for it, but also it may not, because this person has been around and has been around with Vince and since Vince has departed. But I don't know if you saw Michael P.S. Hayes, a.k.a. Doc Hendricks, has stepped away for a Libra absence, as has Bruce Pritchard.
Yeah, personal reasons
for
cited.
Both of them.
Yes.
So obviously pretty vague personal reasons.
Right.
Don't want to speculate. It's not fair to speculate. I know some folks have speculated about could it possibly be Bruce and his wife and her potential sickness. Not going to speculate.
Right.
None of our business. No one knows. But for both of them to step away at that time seemed, I'm not going to lie, it was a little okay.
It felt out
at
of
the
nowhere.
Same point, Vince is building up his media company, whatever that looks like. Those are 2 of his folks, especially Bruce, his right-hand man. So, like, are they stepping away for a particular reason? But also, they've stepped away recently. So, I think Crown Jewel was the first time Michael P.S. Hayes wasn't credited for doing the producer of the Bloodline. It was Jamie Noble.
Right.
So, I wonder if now, because the people behind the scenes are a little different, it's reverting back to what we saw. And maybe not even a Vince thing, but just so rushed and hurried out there that it just reminds us of what Vince would do in the moment. So, I wonder what that's playing into it. I imagine that has a part to play in it.
Yeah, I'm not saying Vince is booking this, but it just feels like how Vince would have booked it if he was still around.
Okay, now this is where a lot of strong takes there, and this is where you get
Sorry, that was very built up in me.
No, I respect it. It was very simple-minded me, on the other hand. I'm enjoying it, and there are going to be times where when you have a show that's, scripted 365 days a year, week to week, not everything is always going to make all the sense, okay? Because it's eventually you have to get to where you need to be. You already know. I'm assuming they have an idea of where they want to go heading into Mania season. And then there's 4 months right there that you already kind of have an idea of. I'm assuming that they kind of have that planned. And you have to get there somehow. So are you going to have to take some shortcuts? Are you going to have to take some things and make them not make the most sense in the world? Probably. Do you really have much big things in your main event scene going on where you can kind of just be like, oh no, we can drag this out even longer. No, like this is the main part of your show every week. You need something that's going to keep people engaged to get you to War Games and then to get you to Rumble and then get you into the Mania season. We still don't know what the hell The Rock is going to do. It's been put out there that he says that he's going to not be a part of WrestleMania this year. I don't think any of us buy that.
No.
I think we all know that's bullshit.
Yeah.
Because
the only way he's not part of Mania is if he sustains an injury somewhere, which hopefully I'm not.
No,
exactly.
Of course.
Yeah,
like,
hopefully it doesn't happen. You know, I do know that he just did a weird story interview with GQ. I don't know if you guys saw that.
Yeah, it was like GQ. Was GQ Man of the Year? Entertainer of the Year. GQ
Yeah.
Entertainer.
Was that the one with the jacket? Where he wore that like big.
I know
wore,
the,
like, some big
the cover.
puffy,
He just had a T-shirt on.
Yeah, but
where he looked like Springsteen.
Yeah.
The interview was basically
small little white tee.
him talking about how he just doesn't want to be famous anymore, or like he's like I
not how that works, Rocky.
Right,
I
exactly.
don't believe him. I'm sorry, but I just don't.
It was like a weird explanation as to like
Midlife
how
crisis, Rocky?
he's trying to kind of cut back on all that and why maybe he's doing the A24 movies.
Right.
A24?
A24, yeah.
A24 movies and doing things that are not just like him basically in a different story.
Yeah.
He just plays himself every fucking time.
Yeah, I've seen the commercials for Red One.
Exactly.
Like
it's the same
just
fucking
looks
shit.
like him, but in
Which
a Christmas
I
movie.
heard. I obviously haven't seen it. And I don't think it's good. I heard it.
It's not out
bombed.
yet.
I heard it was terrible in terms of what the ratings are and what,
All right.
like scores
It
it's got, etc. That's. I mean.
So
who knows,
we don't
but-
know what he's going to do, and I think that he obviously he's going to be a part of this. He left when he left. You know, after Mania, he told Cody he was coming back for him, and I think this is maybe where it might go for War Games.
No,
But that would make so much sense to me. If he was the fifth man on the team of Bloodline, that makes so much sense in the world. Now, I think if you do that, then obviously who's on the other side?
Cody.
For me, Cody, right?
Yeah.
It makes all the fucking sense in the world. It's naturally built
Cody
in.
doesn't have
It's
anything
there.
going on right now?
Cody's got
well, it's
nothing
probably going to be
going
him and
on.
Kevin Owens.
Yeah,
Yes.
more
So
than likely.
that would be another one. So similar. You could, for me, storyline's sake and where it is right now, pull out Rocky, throw Kevin Owens in there because Kevin Owens is so much in like kind of that mercenary role of like, cool, I don't really fuck with you guys, but I can't stand that motherfucker, so I'll team up with
And
you
he's
just to
also
get back
leaning-
at him.
he's a heel now,
Yeah,
so-
it makes so much sense to just throw him in. You can throw Cody in as well. But I don't think they're going either of those ways. At least not what we saw or what's been speculated.
Right. No, I think those two are going to have a one-on-one match for the title at Survivor Series. Especially because like Kevin Owens' whole thing was tearing down the Bloodline.
Yeah.
So then him teaming with, even though it's Temu Bloodline, it still
100%,
feels
100%.
Out of character, even though he's a heel now. Like it's still, I don't know, it just feels out
Now-
of character for him.
I
Because he's still looking at himself as the justified asshole.
Yeah,
not
yeah,
just
exactly. Yes,
asshole.
he feels like
so.
he's
Like that's
right.
why like you can't have that then team with the guy you were trying to tear the group you've been trying
That
to
makes
tear
sense.
apart.
But I could also see him in the same vein saying, yes, that, but also whatever I got to do to get my hands on
It's
this
true.
guy.
That's true.
yeah. So
That you can justify.
Yeah.
I think you're gonna, if this is the direction that they're going, I think you get Cody first. You get Cody to commit first because he just had a recent tag team with Roman Reigns.
Right.
He has a connect. You know, maybe Sami being the good guy can convince him to help them take down the bad guys, and then that's when Kevin Owens is like, "What? He's doing that? And fuck him. I'm going with the other
Right.
guys."
Yep.
You know, that's kind of where you get him there.
I just think there's definitely, I don't know which team, but one of the teams we're not going to find out the fifth man till night
Until
of.
yes.
You think so?
And I have a
Yeah.
feeling it may actually involve this
Yeah, I was
gentleman
gonna-
right here on this nice, beautiful off the rope shirt. Shout out to Puck. But I have
Same.
a feeling, I have a feeling it may include this guy. I think we're either going to see him this Friday or Friday after, but I'm kind of hoping we don't
He's
see
going to be
him.
the fifth man. Because that would be great.
Maybe.
Imagine
That
he'd be in that
may
Royal
be
Rumble
fucking
behind
hilarious.
you. Which, by the way,
Maybe.
only three other people have been eliminated since, and now we
damn.
have
We got good
China.
old JR.
Oh no, not
Cactus
China.
Jack.
That's
Lita
Lita is in there.
And,
redacted,
name redacted.
Name redacted.
and Cactus Jack.
Nice.
And JR.
That's incredible.
Good old JR.
What a four people in
No,
the ring.
so I think, and that's been the speculation. If this guy comes back, does he bring one of two former guys that he used to help out? Brock Lesnar, CM Punk.
Oh,
This
yeah.
has been speculated because I've also heard CM Punk on one side.
Hmm.
Then you can have, and this is where it kind of lost me, but they were like CM Punk joins the Temu Bloodline, and then you
Goes
have
heel.
Rollins. I'm like, I don't think that's gonna
No.
fucking happen. Then you bring him back, and then it's like it's Drew McIntyre with the Temu Bloodline because, and I forgot who said it. It might have been Bully Ray. I was listening, but they were like, oh no, that makes sense because his beef originally was with Jay, and there's kind of, and I'm like, that I get it, but like we're doing way too much to
Right.
make this work.
Right.
Like we're jumping through hoops just to get there, and I think that's the frustrating
But
part.
Punk, I actually really like with original Bloodline because then you could use that as fodder for Punk Seth. Seth being like, "What? I said no, so now you go get this asshole."
Yeah, and that's kind of what and that's my thing is like, and again, we can talk about it because it's been speculated, not even been speculated. We saw it on Raw. Right now, if you had to assume who the fifth person would be, it would be OG Bloodline, Seth Rollins, Team Bloodline, Bronson Reed. Yes. At least from what we've seen and speculated, etc. Now that's fine, but I'm sorry, and this is no shade to Bronson Reed. I've absolutely ever since he gave Seth 6 fucking tsunamis, I've become his biggest fan in the world.
Yeah.
But I want Punk and Rollins more than I want anything else in the world right now. So like, if that's the opportunity to get it and that works, I wouldn't mind them kind of making the puzzle pieces fit a little bit for that, more so than I would Bronson Reed. I don't get it.
So the only thing I'll push back on a little bit is I want Punk and Rollins as well, but I don't want them to even touch each other till Mania.
Yeah.
So like, I don't even want them in War Games together.
Kind of like they did with Drew.
The Rumble at the same time. Exactly.
But that's a good point, because I think also, even if we do get Seth and Bronson, I think it shakes out to where those two never even make it to the ring. They just beat the shit out of each other backstage, and we just end up with the 4-on-4 we originally got. But if that's the case, then in my mind, I'm like, then why even do that? Just give us the 4-on-4 anyway.
Right.
So I don't know.
Which, speaking of Seth and Bronson, could we haven't been
shout
able
out
to
to the best patch uniforms.
Yeah, those I don't know why they still haven't brought those back. That makes no sense to me. You know how much money I know they sold a couple of them, but I don't know why they haven't brought those back.
So good.
That sounds like a no-brainer for me.
But can we talk about something? Granted, this was a few weeks ago. It was the go home Raw for Crown Jewel, but it's probably the greatest moment in the history of WWE, and it was right before Seth and Bronson had their big brawl on the show.
Yeah.
And Seth took off his jacket, and underneath that jacket was the exact same fucking jacket.
Hell yeah.
Oh, it was so good.
Double jacket, baby.
It so hard when he did that.
Yes, it was so. And the jacket
was
it was giving me like Thriller vibes.
Yes.
The jacket was
but
as he's walking up the ramp, it comes off, and I'm like, wait, he's still fucking got that?
Yeah.
I think WWE Social even made a video out of it.
Oh, I hope they did. I didn't see that, but I just
it's
thought
like
it's like when the Sting takes off the Sting mask and it's just Sting behind it. That was what that was. That's fucking incredible.
Hilarious.
That was the best thing I think I've ever seen.
Like accidental funny moments.
Yes,
those have been good.
On TV, it's always the best. So yeah, I mean, there's a million different directions they can go with it. I'm enjoying it. You know, again, I haven't really. There hasn't been a time where I've been like, "Oh, this is dumb. I'm checked out of this." I'm enjoying it because I know that that this is still. This is still just a stop on the way to what they really want to get to at WrestleMania. This is basically what this is.
I'm definitely enjoying it, and I'm not checked out.
It's fan service.
I'm not even upset that they're doing it this year. I'm just upset that they're not making things make sense.
Yeah.
Like, why does Sami want? All Sami wants is Roman to apologize. Roman doesn't, but he's still fine to join the team anyway.
Yeah.
Like, why are they doing those types of things?
I think
they still haven't explained why Jay joined back up with them.
Mm-hmm. Well, here's the thing.
Other than Solo attacked him, but like they didn't explain why Jay was there the first time that led to the Solo attack.
Remember, this is a family storyline. Sometimes you do weird shit for family. Sami Zayn, clearly, he's a weird dude, first of all, okay? Explaining anything Sami does isn't really the easiest thing to do ever. And he obviously really enjoyed his time as, you know, an honorary Uso. Yes. And he believes in his heart of hearts that he wants to be there, and he wants to rekindle that, so he'll overlook some other things, even if he feels like Jay hasn't been treated correctly, and he wants Roman to apologize to him. He still knows that fucking Team Bloodline sucks ass, and he doesn't want anything to do with them.
See, now that is a phenomenal reason. However,
that's the promo.
They haven't fucking put that on TV yet. Give me that, and I'm in.
Hey, sometimes you got to read between the lines, buddy.
But that was me Friday, because and this was my hot take earlier. I marked the fuck out on Friday too. Like when Sami was going in and doing his thing, and he's like, "No, I can see you cracking. You're cracking." And Roman's just like, "Fuck are you talking about, Sami?" But I will say, and maybe I'm fighting it. Maybe I'm fighting the urge. I still would prefer him to not be a part of the storyline. I still would prefer.
I definitely want him part of
the storyline. I think I'm absolutely an outlier here, but I absolutely wish that this could have just been very divisive, only Samoans. Like, I don't want to see anybody who's not a fucking Samoan, who doesn't literally share the same blood and story. I know why it's not going to happen. I also know why Sami
haven't seen the picture of them as kids. I did. Sammy's their brother. He's related.
Just like the other brother who they tried to say was Solo, and it wasn't. Right. It's fucking the other one. And that's the thing. Maybe it's against my better judgment, because on Friday I was marking out, but then I look at and I'm just like, I really wish this iteration could have just been all Bloodline. And there's more than enough people to do it. You got fucking Zilla sitting in the weeds.
Yeah, but then you got to build them up again.
No, but that's why I feel like, don't rush it for this year. If you were going to do it from SummerSlam, and it felt like that was the plan, but I feel like they're deviating at the last minute, and Sami just made sense, and they know he's going to hit a home run out of it. But I just wish this iteration would have only been. But
here's the thing. Here's
folks.
the thing that it's from a. You're looking at it from like us our perspective.
No, 100%.
You got to think of
I'm way too in the weeds here. Way too in the weeds.
Because there's no way the average fan is going to take another year of learning more of,
but a year ago, before we got Tama, before we even like when Solo first introduced,
you already had Solo. But the thing is that you already had Solo established as the enforcer, and then when Roman goes away, so slowly he brought in Tama, and you brought in Tangaloa, and then you bring in Jacob Fatu, and you're building that for months. Now, if you're going to now do that on the other end, you're going to take forever.
Oh, would have needed a whole other year build.
You would have needed a whole other year build.
It would have needed a whole year build.
And that's when I think people would start checking out. Because then you're just like, well, I don't really have any cachet with all of these guys. Like, I can handle a few, but I don't know if I could do this again for another year. Now, with that being said, is where you're going to put the Sami, who has a connection to the story. It's not like he's just a random dude off the street. Sami has a connection to the story.
He's done as much for the original Bloodline story as anyone else.
Oh, yeah.
Kevin Owens,
away from him.
Kevin Owens has a reason to hate Sami for it because of what they went through together with them. Okay, so you have a lot of internal shit with guys that are already established, that fans are already behind. There's no way that they were going to be able to do that. So I'm okay with all of this, and I'm okay with like watching your favorite TV show. Sometimes you got to suspend belief, man. It's fucking television.
Right.
So I don't want to always have everything explained to me. I got that in real life, okay? I want to be able to just watch it and be like, fuck yeah, dude, Sami, acknowledge your tribal chief, fuck the Timu bloodline, and fuck Solo Sikoa. That's me. When Solo comes out, throw your thumbs down, baby.
But in great TV shows, they explain why characters are doing
Not
what they're
always.
doing.
Sometimes it leaves it up to you. Has anybody ever explained the ending of Sopranos?
But that's not why somebody's doing something. That's what happened. But they haven't explained why Sami's doing what he's doing. They haven't explained why Jay's doing what he's doing.
They're explain why the screen went black.
But that's not a decision. That's not somebody deciding to do something. That's something happening. It's a completely
somebody
different
decided
situation.
to do whatever it was that made the screen go black. And we never got an explanation for it. It's the same shit. There's really no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That's just what it is. Sometimes a great television show doesn't have to explain. If they have to explain things for you, that means that it's not the best writing, because the best writing can do things without having to explain it to you. So I look at this storyline and I look at Sami Zayn's decisions because he has a connection. It's the same thing with, like, we all have friends and family members that over the years have made bad decisions, and this is us being full kayfabe right now, by the way.
In the last week or two?
Yeah, exactly. Right. That you still support them, or you find a way to be like, give them the benefit of the doubt when they don't fucking deserve it. Okay, so if you're putting your kayfabe hat on, right, and Sami obviously had the time of his life, and they had their differences, but now he sees that they're being wronged. Okay, Jimmy came back to him, and then he had to go convince Jay. Okay, and even though Roman still hasn't fully come around to it, that's them putting it aside for the greater evil, right? Because they're family.
You just gave me a great merch idea, by the way. I'm not going to share it on the show.
Don't give it away. No free ads.
So you and I have been friends for like 30 years
almost
almost
at
at this
time.
point?
Jesus Christ.
If I asked you to do something and you said, I will more than happily do this for you as long as you just do this.
Acknowledge me.
You just do this one other thing for me, and then I go, fuck that, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Are you still going to help me out?
Yeah, probably. I mean, as long as it's not murdering somebody or like doing anything illegal.
Well, I mean, obviously that's what it is.
Yeah, well, I mean, okay, fine. I'll have to think about it, but
no, I think that's fair. Like, because I think I would probably still do it, but I'm probably gonna feel away.
Exactly,
I'm gonna feel it.
I might feel away. They still feel away. Even when they
I'm probably gonna do it.
Even when they all threw their ones up, like none of them did it like so overjoyed. Like they were like, "All right, fuck it, we have to do this." Like at this
least
point,
nobody did this.
They all
we didn't get the Rock fucking.
But they all do it before he does. As like, yeah, we acknowledge. It's not like he does it first and then they all fall in line. They do it to show him, yeah, no, we acknowledge you. We're with you.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
To me, it doesn't.
Because if you're looking at it from the storyline standpoint, okay, like this is they looked at Roman as their tribal chief, okay? So you got to put on your kayfabe hat for a second. So sometimes your tribal chief, regardless of the differences that you have, at the end of the day, you're still going to try to defend that person because you're looking at it as family. So that's why they're able to put aside the differences and be like, hey, this dude Solo is in my ear trying to get me to come to his side, and I don't have any connection with this dude. This dude's an asshole. So even though he's really been convincing because I really don't like the decisions that you're making and you haven't really apologized to me, I still got to have your back even if I hate it.
But they also have.
I mean, I do. I listen. I've had plenty of people in my life that I've had to do that for. But countless times.
I feel like you also need to see change in the other person to forgive a little bit. And Roman hasn't changed.
Roman was able to put aside the differences with Cody Rhodes to try to put an end to this.
But if you look at Roman's character, he's getting cheered now, but it's not really a different character than it was when he was tribal chief and
I think in a way it is.
1300
I feel like he started to turn, like when all this first happened, when he knew he needed some help. I think he started, but I've noticed in the last couple of weeks he seemed to kind of revert back to a little. And maybe that's intentional, maybe it's not.
It's possible.
Well, because here's where again it comes back down to like, okay, don't question my intelligence as a fan, because I'm just all of a sudden supposed to just expect this dude who for 4 years or whatever the fuck it was, 3-4 years, was this badass guy, didn't take shit from anybody, to all of a sudden now just take commands from his supposed people that are quote unquote below him as the tribal chief. No. But I also think him acknowledging at the end of SmackDown doing what he did, I think that was to show the change in him, is to be like, hey, okay, I respect. And then he throws his ones up and be like, you're with us. So you can't just all of a sudden have this dude be some like Polly Pocket and be like, hey, let's just all be friends. He's still got to be that badass tribal chief.
It can't be a whole 180, but like small things.
Yeah.
Give me small things.
Yeah.
To me, it doesn't feel any different. It feels like the exact same.
And I
guy
thought he was on that again. I thought he was on that trajectory. And then the last couple of weeks, I've been like, maybe
but
not.
Stone
Just
Cold,
some of the mannerisms and faces. Well, that's the thing. And but I don't. Yeah, I don't think Stone Cold ever changed.
But the other thing,
I don't think The Rock did either.
Yeah.
None of the top
Stone Cold never tried to get people to have his back.
Yeah.
Stone Cold did everything on his own. If Roman was doing this on his own,
okay,
absolutely. But
how
like,
do you explain
he's not
his
trying to
tag
bring
team
people in.
championship with Dude Love? How do you explain that?
Because they were champs. I don't remember.
He was a lovable loser. He's like, all right, buddy, come on, let's go. But he never changed who he was. He would have stunned. I think he did stun.
No, they were tag champs and they were feuding, if I remember correctly.
I know, but I'm saying like he was able to put aside his differences to win the tag team championship. Sometimes these badass dudes, they do weird shit. Yeah. But that's why pro wrestling is the greatest thing in the world.
I will say, and I'm curious to hear what you think, Mike, I want to give Solo a little bit of love.
Yeah,
I feel like Solo's been better lately.
I
feel like he's just leaned so much into what seems to be his natural personality outside of the ring, with the jokes and the one-liners and the facial expressions. He's been fucking. I've been marking out, and it's been fun because I feel like he's got more comfortable, and I think we've all kind of not given him shit because I don't think that's fair, but we've given constructive criticism on what we liked or haven't liked, whether it's him or not. But he's the mouthpiece, so he's gonna get it. But I think I want to give him a lot of credit. The last few weeks he's been, not even the last few weeks, I think even longer than he's been good. He's been solid. He seems so much more comfortable in that role where he is. He feels more comfortable with the guys around him. So I want to give him some love. And also the fucking promo that Jacob Fatu cut.
Yeah, dude, Jacob Fatu's a star.
Oh my God.
He's a star.
Yeah,
he is. That promo was incredible.
So fucking good.
Didn't miss a beat.
So natural.
So on point. So natural. I was like, dude, I watched that and I'm like, holy shit. Like,
so
this dude
good.
is a star.
And you can tell, too, like, I feel like with...
He gives me big Umaga vibes.
100%. Oh, 100%.
Like, they're like, it just, to me, it just... We got robbed of that.
Yeah.
And I'm really hoping that Jacob Fatu has a long career because he could be an incredible heel, I think.
So too, and obviously Umaga's son himself, Zilla, is fucking very much that, and I think we're going to see that eventually. There was a clip the other day, so Zilla is literally, he's now the House of Glory, Reality of Wrestling, and Fourth Rope World Champion. Shout out to the Fourth Rope. He's the first ever champion, Fourth Rope World Champion. But he was at a show the other day, I think Reality of Wrestling with Booker, and he was coming out with Teddy Long, and Booker was on the other side of the ring with Sharmell, and Teddy said something along the lines of like, acknowledge him, and he put the finger up, and you could see kind of like, even Sharmell was like, trying to hold back a laugh, and Booker, so I'm like, yo, is this gonna happen? Like, is he gonna be here soon? We know Lance on Hawaii has officially signed. There was pictures of him in an NXT tracksuit, so like, they're coming. So it's gonna be interesting to see how they plot in. I would fucking love to see Zilla and Jacob Fatu either on a team somewhere soon down the line or eventually going at one another. Like, fucking gonna be awesome.
Do you think they'll make Zilla start in NXT though? Because he's younger, He's still kind of new to wrestling.
And I think they should.
I agree.
I think he can use the work. I think he's already solid right now, but once you come up, so many things are different. The cues, where you stand, how you talk, all those things. I think he could definitely use it.
And it's very different for like a Jacob or a Tama or a Tonga. Like they're established 100%. Wrestlers. They can easily adapt.
Especially coming from New Japan. I mean, that I don't think gets enough credit for just how well run of an organization that is. But even look at Lance, who has been in the WWE before, and he's going back to NXT. Yeah. So I think it just makes sense. And there's obviously no shame in being in NXT these days. Not. In some cases, you're probably better off there because the way you're going to get pushed in the opportunities you'll get compared to the main roster. Certainly if you're a woman.
Yes,
NXT,
1000%.
Yeah, 100%. NXT coming to low
or a tag team
for our local people watching the show. Coming to Lowell. That's cool. That's good. Is that going to be a live show?
Yeah,
I think so.
I think it's going to be similar to like when they went to the 2300.
Well, do you remember Samoa Joe won the
NXT
title on a house show.
Yeah,
at Lowell, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so that'll be a.
He ended what was at the time the longest NXT Championship reign on a house show.
That was wild.
Joe these days.
I don't know.
Filming
Twisted Metal.
Yeah, Twisted Metal.
Okay.
Yeah. So
All
I think he'll be back in AEW soon.
Okay.
My dad loves that show.
Does he?
Loves that show. He doesn't remember. We used to play the game actually with him back at PS1 days, and he was like, but he does love the show. So yeah, obviously the Bloodline, man. We just
that just keeps on giving, man.
did the majority of our show on it because it's
the story
it's
going
the
in wrestling
storyline
right now,
in professional wrestling right now, and there is so many different directions that they can go with it.
Yeah.
And regardless of you are enjoying everything about it or some things about it, it's still something you cannot turn off.
Yeah,
and
it is still must see.
It's must watch, and it's been so fun, and I'm excited to see where they go with it. And I don't know. We got a few weeks. What is today? The 13th. So you got like 17 days.
Yeah, we
so
got
a little over 2 weeks.
3 more SmackDowns, 2 more Raws before that. So a lot.
So it'll be
technically one more Raw.
It'll be 2 weeks from technically.
Oh, because
they pre-taped.
So we could talk about that because that's another big storyline these days is these Raw taped shows. So people are getting 2-for-1s that are going to these live shows because they've been taping a second Raw after the live Raw. We won't get into spoilers because I did see a couple. We won't get into spoilers because that's not what we do. But what we will do is give our take on it as we always do. I'm not a fan of this. I think that there is an element because of the internet and because of the things that I naturally search on a daily basis or scroll through on a daily basis. It's almost impossible to avoid spoilers because of that. Like I'm not even looking for it, and it will just pop up on my timeline. So that's the part I really don't like about it. I'm going to give what people are trying to spin zone this into, but I'd like to hear you guys take. What do you think about these tape shows?
My frustration with it is not even that. That is obviously a frustration. I did similar. I opened up, I don't even know what app it was the other day, and I saw a picture of a superstar who I guess you can say was returning, and I was like, well, fuck.
I saw that too. Yeah.
But my bigger issue is the way the show now comes across because the way it's edited. It's
like the old SmackDowns.
It's so frustrating to me. Like you see, and I think what they're trying to do is because now we have a 2-hour show. Naturally, with the editing, they're trying to pack basically 3 hours into 2 hours.
Right.
But like you have something where the crowd, the promos are not synced up. You have something where you think you're going to get a crowd pop that usually might last 3 to 5 seconds, 5 to 7 seconds, 7 to 10 seconds, whatever, and it just goes so quickly, and it just leaves so much to be desired because of the way it's edited. And that's my biggest frustration. The spoilers I hate, but watching it live, the crowd, I think, gets knocked down a couple notches, and I'm over here thinking, does this crowd suck? And I'm like, oh no, maybe it's just the way they edited it. They're kind of muting
it's like the old
crowd.
SmackDown shows before they were live.
That is my biggest frustration with the taping, and I get why they're doing it, especially now during the holidays. They want to give them time at home. Totally understand that, and I'm all in favor of that. But there's got to be a better way because the editing, it does not feel the same. And I get a tape show versus live isn't going to feel the same, but it's frustrating because it should feel the same, especially right now with all the great things going on. It definitely is. It's impacting the show.
Yeah. So I personally don't hate it simply for that fact of it's more time around. It's around the holidays, so it's more time at home for them.
Yeah,
good
and
for
the
them.
rumor is when Raw moves to Netflix, it's going to go back to live every
Right,
day.
yes.
So it's going to stop
And
being
3
pre-taped
hours.
and 3 hours. And SmackDown's going to move to
3
3 hours
hours
at
as
that
well.
point as well, which I don't know how I feel about that. But
Same.
At least it's Friday.
You're right. So, like, I don't mind them pre-taping it now. I do agree, like, you feel out of it. I also find, like, I don't know about you guys, but when I see their spoilers, I just inevitably, like, I don't avoid them. I just click on them and...
Oh, no, I avoid them.
Sometimes without even thinking, I'm just like, oh, spoiler.
No,
and then I'm like,
avoid
oh,
them.
shit, I now just read this whole thing.
Shout out to Reddit and their spoiler
And now
tags.
I know what's going to happen on Raw. And then I end up not really watching it because I already know what's going to happen.
Yeah, which sucks because then it just takes away of, like, especially lately, the excitement of, like, especially those backstage segments and all the little things that are happening.
So that's also why, like, the crowd doesn't sync up with those backstage ones because the crowd doesn't see those.
Yeah.
They pre-tape those while, like, the matches are happening just to condense everything. So they're not there for 2 more hours.
Yeah.
Right.
So
that's the other problem.
The spin zone that people are trying to give is that spoilers can be good for wrestling. I don't know how accurate that is, except for the one time Mankind won the WWF title.
Right.
Shout out to Bischoff.
Yeah, and they tried to spoil it on Nitro, and then more people went to go watch that.
And that was the end of the 83 weeks.
And that was the end right there. I don't know if that really works this day and age because people are already struggling to sit down through a live show as it is.
Right.
Because they're able to watch it on demand. Because it's like sometimes you can do the YouTube recaps like I've had to do in the past.
Yeah. Right.
When I couldn't sit through a full 3 hour Raw. So I think that actually hurts you more than it helps you. And now with some of these things, like you could probably watch everything that's already happened before the show even airs. I don't know. I don't think that that's works.
I have the perfect example, in my opinion, at least, of why spoilers don't help. Because think of The Rock showing up at the end of Bad Blood.
Yes.
We all expected it, but we didn't know officially it was going to happen. So the reaction to that was through the roof. If we knew officially it was going to happen, we would be like, oh. It's the equivalent of like, not even spoiling, but pre-announcing a comeback before it happens. Not letting it be a surprise return.
Yep.
It's kind of the same thing. It diminishes the actual pop for it.
I always had the being on the inside and seeing how things work at times. Typically when they do that, it's for a last minute. They want walk-up sales.
Right. No, I get it.
Yeah. That's what it is because sometimes with the live shows...
It's for that or to pop a rating.
And if you notice, they haven't done that in a long time because they haven't needed to.
Exactly.
No.
But typically when you see those like last minute, so-and-so's returns tonight, it's because they want people to show up that day and buy tickets so they can have a bigger gate. That's
and again,
not that that's really like breaking news.
The
but
premise for it, like them being able to get the superstars home with their families, for that, I'm like, okay, I can't really argue it.
Right.
But again, as a viewer, someone sitting at home, like it
well, this is where you have to balance it out, right? Because we've seen for years and years the congested schedule and being on the road 24/7, 365. How much that's been an issue with just work-life balance for professional wrestlers, specifically in WWE, because of how busy they are. So if you're changing the whole culture, right, and you're not only just making the product better on television, in the ring for your PLEs, but you're also making people happier, that's going to be enticing to some of these other people who may want a less of a schedule at AEW, right? Because AEW is not as busy as WWE.
No, they don't think they do many, if any, house shows.
Exactly. They do maybe one a week.
Right. I don't even think they do one a week. It may be like 2 a month.
Because they record Collision on Thursday nights, and then Rampage is recorded after Dynamite
on Wednesday. Yeah.
So that's basically it. And that's why a lot of people, especially the older guys, like to go there.
And they pay pretty well.
And they pay pretty well because they got endless pockets. Like another company in the 90s. So I'm okay with it, but yes, it does affect us as a viewer. Not the end all be all because we know it's temporary, but it is definitely something that you notice for sure. Especially people like us who've been watching for years. You can tell when certain things need to pop more.
I'll also say kind of a thing like as why you could still do live, like especially now with 2 hour Raws. Maybe not everybody needs to be on every Raw every week.
Right.
Like like CM Punk's been gone for a while and like he's still gonna get a huge reaction when he comes back. I can't even remember the last time Drew McIntyre was on Raw. Yeah. Like, they're still big name guys.
It's been a while.
Like, not everybody needs to. And it gives other people more TV time.
Exactly. Yeah. I think. And
like,
I think
the other last time Chad Gable was on TV?
That's a great question.
Like,
I mean, not American Alpha.
American Made.
American Made.
American
Made. I remember he lost a couple weeks ago, but I don't even remember who the fuck he was wrestling.
Right. Exactly.
I don't remember.
Because their feud with the Wyatt Six.
They've been back the past couple weeks.
Were they on this past week?
Yeah, they got beat down.
Yes, that's right. Okay, I'm sorry.
In like a minute and a half segment.
Because the Miz, you call it Karrion Kross, called the Miz.
Yeah, with this fucking bloody eye.
That's what I'm saying. But that was a shoot.
I think it was.
It was a shoot. Like I don't think he was supposed to.
He must have bumped it on something. Yeah.
Or like I thought maybe like a fingernail because it looked like it was right above the eyelid. I think like
to me it looked like it was from his corner. So
like just a quick little thing.
Yeah.
But no, that was a cool.
That's my thing. Like give them more time as opposed to Seth Rollins. As much as it's been fun, Seth Rollins, Bronson Reed can take a week off.
Yep. Especially when you know you're going to have these stars who are going to be in the pay per view. They're going to be in Survivor. So all these different things. Yeah. Give this time to the other folks.
Unless Seth is going to double jacket it every week, I don't need to see him every week.
Yeah, give me the double jacket.
That would be great too.
Yeah, just rip off and there's another pair of pants underneath.
I would love that.
Yeah, so we'll see. Again, probably just temporary holidays. Then when Netflix begins, everything's going to change back to probably the way it was.
I also read the rumor was that first Raw on Netflix, they're basically going to make it a PLE.
I believe it. Remember the first SmackDown on Fox?
Right.
That was poor Kofi, but that was bullshit.
But I get the vibe like it's also going to be like not many promos. but like a lot of like
banger after banger.
They gotta have a new
like,
set, right? Like we
I
gotta have a
hope
whole
so.
like. I just want them to really go. I know we keep doing this, but like,
just bring back sets.
you can afford just
Yeah,
like
they can.
And if you really look back at the attitude, like even through the Ruthless Aggression when they had unique sets for PLEs, it didn't change that much. It was enough that you would notice.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it wasn't just the same set with just different LEDs and whatever.
Right, it's not
Money in the
different
Bank.
colors.
Throw some ladders out there.
Right.
In a fucking Garda van.
Right.
People know there's some money involved here.
Also, if you're gonna fucking brag week after week that each week it's the highest gate you've ever fucking had,
Yeah.
you can afford new sets.
Yeah.
Damn it. Yeah. So Raw tape shows probably not forever. We are flying through, so we got to get to a couple of things here. The fake headlines that were going around today are interesting because I don't really know why. Okay. So there was some fake headlines about Becky Lynch being done completely with WWE. That turned out to not be true.
Right.
And also some fake Ricochet tweets that were also not real, that he confirmed were not real. Samantha Irvin confirmed were not real. They were very active on X today talking about it. Was there ever a rumor or a speculation that Becky Lynch was not coming back and that somebody decided to run with?
So there was.
I've seen a few.
So I
dating
saw
back a few weeks at least.
The biggest thing I saw. I wish I could remember who it was, but I forget who it was. Somebody on their podcast was talking about bigging up Liv Morgan, and they talked about how she just ended Rhea Ripley. She retired Becky Lynch, is what they said on their podcast.
Was
So
it
I
not?
don't know if people
Was it Sam Roberts? Because that's who this outlet was quoting, or like
it could have. I really don't remember
crediting.
who it was. It could have been, but I don't think it was him.
So absolutely a kayfabe retirement that someone just ran with.
Yeah,
We
just
think.
or just
or
like
they may have just speculated that themselves. They may have looked at it as like she loses to Liv. She hasn't been seen since.
Yeah, she hasn't.
She retired. She retired Becky Lynch.
But also there was shoot news around that time about how she wanted time off.
Yeah,
like
right.
she just wanted to step away for a bit, and
that was also right around the time her book was selling really well, so she probably was going on tour.
She was
for
doing
that.
a Today Show, and then Rollins also was recovering, and he was away for a little bit.
Well,
they probably had time together as a family.
Longer time to be away, and then had to come back. They gave her the belt because was it Rhea?
Right, she was
Rhea?
originally supposed
so
to
she was
be
supposed to
gone
be
Yes.
on that
Mania.
time off.
Yes. Yeah.
Came back to basically do the job,
Right.
and then
Yeah.
got the time off. So you'd imagine they might have even said, "Hey, come back, do us this favor. We're going to give you a little more
Exactly.
time
Hey pal,
off."
what was
Yeah.
that? The old CM Punk and Vince back in the day. Hey pal, I need you to do me a favor.
Yeah, so I think that could have been it. I had saw the couple rumors I had saw were about pay. And they were like, X superstar's making this. X superstar's making this. Becky wants this, but they won't give her that. They'll only give her this, which is 25% of what X superstar makes. I obviously don't know if any of the numbers are true. I don't even know if the speculation is true. I don't know Becky Lynch from a hole in the wall than her on-screen character and what we've seen from her. I would have a hard time imagining that would play into it. Also, I would have a hard time imagining WWE wouldn't pay her what she's deserving, considering everything she's done for them. Even speaking of recently, jumping in and doing a job. So I had a hard time believing that. I certainly didn't believe any speculation of her going anywhere else.
Right.
That never resonated with me. I just figured, she's taking some deserving time off, and when storyline dictates and when it makes sense. And right now, I don't think it makes sense for her to be back.
No. Where are you
going to put her?
I mean, we got to keep in mind Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair. Like you have all of these people, these women in your back pocket ready to come back and give you a
keep that
crazy
ace
pop,
up your sleeve.
and you don't need them right now.
No.
Your division is in a great place. Well, some things are getting old.
Well, it's just like
There's no NXT Women's Division.
that's my thing.
Yeah, no,
Like,
the NXT Women's Division is incredible.
NXT Women's Division is the best in wrestling right now.
I agree.
But
It is
like,
so good.
to me-
It's definitely the best part about NXT right now too.
absolutely.
And NXT as a whole is in a good spot.
I think
just-
best division in all the women's. But I think some of them need to kind of come up and get shuffled around. But also, I think some of the women are there in WWE. They just need the chances.
That's the thing.
Like
though.
I think
There's
of Chelsea
nobody.
Green is a perfect
There
opportunity.
are-
I think I got to buy her new shirt.
The talent is there.
Chelsea, I think I got to buy your new shirt.
Yeah, it's pretty.
It's
dope,
kind of fire. I'm
It
not
is.
gonna lie. And like, fuck. All right, I'm gonna do it. Chelsea Green. It's not the same.
Potentially the
not.
first women's U.S. champion.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
But
That'd be dope.
that is what gives me hope. Is that new
Right.
belt? We
That was
talked
announced
about
last
it for
week,
the
too. So
So
longest.
actually, if anything, that makes
That's
me a
what
little
gives-
more
Does it? Is it a little more
nervous
worried?
because
Okay.
of the fact that genuine, like the talent is there. The talent is absolutely there in the
bar
women's
none.
division.
Yeah.
But who right now is credible to take the title away from either Liv or Nia?
Besides Rhea Ripley.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like that's it.
And Bailey, and then you could run
problem.
Bailey,
Tiffany,
right?
Oh,
Tiffany,
obviously because she's got the briefcase.
Absolutely, I'll give you that.
Bianca, if she dropped the
but
belts,
that's the thing. They're in the tag thing.
Yeah,
and we know that feud's gonna start.
Yeah.
So it's like who's
I agree.
level. The talent is there. They're just not
and that's
booked
all
to
just
that level.
storyline. That's all just booking.
Just book them
booking.
better.
It's all booking.
And now with another title in there, now you're putting people in that spot and nobody in the top spot.
But the women's division in the past, they've done a pretty good job of really elevating your microphone's directly in my camera.
Sorry. I almost knocked this whole thing over, so I was trying to move stuff around.
They've done a really good job of elevating their NXT superstars pretty much right away.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, think about Paige. Remember Paige's first night? I mean, granted that was the butterfly belt, but still, like they do a pretty good job of getting them involved right away.
I'd argue besides Paige and the Four Horsewomen and Rhea, like the rest of the NXT call-ups took a while.
Yeah.
Like Io's only just now
took a
finally
bit.
Getting up there.
Liv took a bit. Carmella took a bit.
Fucking when was the last time Shinsuke Nakamura was on TV?
Oof. Oh, that's a great question. Is he still signed?
As far as I know, he's still with the company.
Contract?
Damn, he must be just
what a fall from grace. I know.
riding out.
But the talent,
Tyler
especially
Breeze was a big NXT guy, and now he didn't
well,
do.
Finn Balor. See, now they're already teasing that Judgment Day bullshit.
Which I don't.
Which is like, okay, you made this whole thing about getting rid of Damian Priest because everybody's for them. Like, you know, it's not, there's no leader and all this shit. And now you basically have Finn Balor acting as the leader again and being a dickhead. So
in hindsight, they should have just disbanded.
Yeah, I think that.
And I know saying that at the moment would have been like, how do you just break it down when this is this is the new group? But in hindsight, they're not doing a fucking thing.
Yeah, you could have I will say JD has gotten better. I don't really know what he pursues when the Judgment Day is over. I don't know where
he's going to be a mid-card singles guy.
Him and Finn as the tag team.
No, but Finn
has to go.
Finn absolutely has to go
up. The world title.
But
maybe put him and Carlito together as a tag team,
or like just have JD be like that.
Yeah, he's gonna be your mid-card worker. Yeah. But even the speed thing's fucking me. Like the other day, it was like Braun Breaker versus. I'm like, what the fuck is Braun Breaker in a speed tournament for? Like, what the fuck are we doing?
And who was it against?
It was another star. I'm like, what are we doing, guys?
Yeah, no, that's stupid.
We can't talk about the belt on fucking TV, but
they can't show it.
You can't. Well,
I think they can talk about it.
I think they need to just get away from gimmick belts because they do not work. The 24/7 didn't work. It was not the hardcore title at all. When you can't do anything hardcore, really.
And also, you have it just only exclusively on Twitter, which is not even a thing anymore.
At noon on like a Wednesday.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's like, okay, people like me, unemployed, can watch it, but like everybody else in the world fucking can't. So who is this for?
Like today, you're better off having it on TikTok.
It's the
mix match on Twitter, just because of where Twitter is as a whole.
It's the mix match challenge all over again. That was a Facebook exclusive. I'm like, who the fuck watched it on Facebook?
It's a waste, man. And it's sad because then you see like the emergence of now the women's U.S. title, which is awesome. I still wish it was a fucking women's IC title, but we're gonna take what we can get.
And also, it's just copy and paste with the white strap.
I know.
I don't mind that.
I kind of wish it was like its own thing.
I wanted it to be its own thing.
Like make it the TV title or something like that.
Yeah,
like a whole new thing. Not even like women's U.S. title. Make it its own thing.
Yeah, but even if it was a U.S. women's, why not make it its own design?
I know.
I hate that they just copy and pasted it.
Flag on there, something different, anything, anything fucking different.
I do like the U.S. title. I don't think it's the best iteration of it, but I do like it. It's one of those titles like those blue and red pops.
Than the older ones that like the full flag on there.
Yeah, the WCW,
I kind of like that one.
WCW one's still the best.
I think the NWA one's actually the best, but the
WCW we did talk about this. We did talk about that one. That one's fire. I wasn't familiar, but that one is fire.
But overall, I'm glad the women got another belt.
Yeah, I agree. They definitely deserve it.
Definitely.
I just really, the way they've booked the women so far, I'm just a bit trepidatious that they're not going to book it very well.
And the thing is, too, is like you look at just literally the team that we saw last week: Julia, Stephanie Vakir, I forget her new name,
Zarya,
Jordan
Grace,
and Jordan Grace,
and Kalani Jordan.
And Kalani Jordan. Kalani Jordan, obviously, she doesn't have the belt at the moment, but she's still in that kind of title hunt back and forth.
Yeah.
But the other four, you could bring any of them up to the main roster right now.
Absolutely.
And if you book them correctly, they can be a world champion.
I honestly think
that.
I don't know her contract status, but I honestly think Jordan Grace is, when her contract is up and she signs with WWE, she's going straight to the main roster.
Oh,
she's not
for sure. I mean, she's star. Yeah, dude.
She's got it all. She's got all of it.
I do want to backtrack a little bit to why we may be seeing these fake headlines. So there was a rumor out there, and take this with take this with a mound of salt, because who knows if this is true or not. But there was a rumor out there that WWE wanted to leak fake information to their sources to start discrediting people.
Allegedly,
specifically Dave Meltzer.
Dave Meltzer, I saw that. I did see.
Wanted, and specifically with the Kevin Owens thing, like allegedly they were very quiet about announcing he had re-signed in the hopes that Dave Meltzer would then run with him going to AEW, and then he'd be like, fuck you, Dave, you're wrong as fuck. He signed.
Yeah. So this is
He's
like Drake and Kendrick, where somebody allegedly fed Kendrick fake information about Drake's daughter that doesn't exist.
Right.
That Kendrick used in a song. For my hip hop fans out there, everything is pro wrestling. I could see that. I could see. I mean, I don't really put past anything in professional wrestling. Like there's definitely
petty shit like
some petty shit like that, and I think that the insiders for a long time, or the quote unquote insiders for a long time, in the dirt sheets, have always been has been a thorn in the side of any management in any major.
I mean, Bruce Pritchard hates the fuck out of Dave Meltzer. Just listen to 5 minutes of his podcast and you will hear that.
And it's like that in any industry. Music, sports,
same
wrestling,
shit.
anything where you're like, I want to keep shit under wraps. I want to do it the right way. You got those people who are, and I get it, doing their job. But like doing all these things to get the info, it's got to be a fucking pain in the ass.
Especially in wrestling where like you want to keep as much shit quiet as possible.
And especially Dave Meltzer, who like we know is fucking basically on the payroll at AEW and fucking skews the numbers and cooks the books all the fucking time. I remember Brandon Thurston from WrestleNomics called him out recently and had receipts.
Right.
He's just fucking.
I want to know
past his prime, that guy.
Yeah.
I want to know the real story between Dave Meltzer and WWE.
Yeah.
Because I'm curious, because there's got to be a real reason why
he shits on them all the time.
He shits on them. Nothing. He never gives his rating. Them. I know he's like one of your pure, quote unquote purists or whatever, and he doesn't like some of the gimmicks that come along with WWE and catering to the average fan or whatever. But there's got to be something deeper there between Meltzer.
You got 100%.
Granted, it's one guy's opinion, so like take it with a grain of salt. But you got to think his first WWE 5-star match didn't come till 1994.
Yeah, that's insane.
With the ladder match.
Yeah,
fucking Macho and Steamboat don't get 5 stars,
which is like in everybody's top 5
Absolutely.
ever. Yeah, he's a dick.
Like, he's been there.
But that's my thing with this is like Dave Meltzer's wrong enough on his own. Don't feed him fake information.
Exactly.
That then if it comes out to be true, now people are going to sympathize with this guy.
Yeah.
Like don't try to make him look like the hero.
I did.
He steps in it enough on his own.
Exactly.
I met Dave Meltzer at Wale Mania 2 in Dallas, and I met him and Virgil at the same time. And I have a selfie.
A weird.
I would love to have a drink with those two.
Yeah, I had a very drunken selfie somewhere on my phone that maybe I'll share at some point. On our new Instagram page, by the way.
Ooh.
We not only are we on X, we're also on Instagram at EIPW Podcast. Okay?
OnlyFans is in the works.
Yes.
Yeah.
OnlyFans is in the works.
And
Flanabam is working on getting sexy right on the payroll. Yeah.
I got to limber up a bit first.
Fine.
Yeah, that's fine. No worries. Well, this is why I got the blackout shades in here.
No, I get it.
Yeah, so my neighbors
don't call the cops.
No, nothing for free in here.
No, absolutely not.
Paywall. Literal a fucking
Literal
paywall.
paywall. You paid for this wall.
Exactly. A literal paywall up in this bitch. So yeah, we're trying to weed out the rats with these fake headlines.
Hot take before we go to the next subject, because I've seen this speculated a little bit. I feel like it's naturally been speculation for a while. I don't understand why. Do either one of you think that Triple H's time is nearing an end?
No.
Now the reason why I say this, I don't think it is either, but I think a lot of the speculation has obviously been around The Rock, TKO, his connection. We know how weaved in he is and all the different things. You see some of the people, like we mentioned P.S. Hayes and we mentioned Pritchard, and some of the people moving and this, that, and the other. So I don't think it's going to happen, but I think maybe this week, for some reason, I don't know if it's some of the things I read, some of it might have been bullshit or not. There's just been a lot of stuff out there. It's hard to sift through, seemingly the last couple of weeks, ironically enough. It's made me think, like, is that a point? Is that a point where the TKO folks are going and saying, who we got?
Sorry, Boss Man. And who is that? Al Snow. They're fighting outside. It's a Royal. They go bottom rope.
G.
You got Road Dogg, Boss Man, Farouk, and Al Snow.
And it's been going long enough that it reset to 0.
It reset to 0. Yeah, this match has been going on for well over an hour. You still got 19 people left.
Yeah.
No mercy, AI. They knew we were bored.
What does everybody want?
They knew we were bored back in the year 2001, where we needed to just...
99 is when this came out, I think.
This came out in 99?
No, 2000.
2000. Because WrestleMania 2000 came out in 99.
Yeah.
Shout out to Farouk, looking a little bit like Blade.
A little bit, yeah.
What Head is in the ring as well.
Yeah, that was a Al Snow exclusive weapon.
Yes,
he would always grab Head.
That's fucking incredible. Road Dogg's about to have a special. Okay, sorry. I sidetracked. ADHD.
So yeah,
no mercy.
Do you think there's any stock in that? Can you see any scenario in which they seemingly pull the rug out from under Trips and pivot to The Rock because of all the connections and everything is involved in X, Y, and Z?
So I say no because I have this conspiracy theory that The Rock's not actually on the board and that's just storyline.
Oh, you think it's it's a work?
I think it's a work.
That's interesting.
Now, which would check out the way his character's been built as Final Boss. That makes sense.
Assuming
somebody comes out and exposes him for like they bring out like the official. That's old school. That's Attitude Era shit.
That is shit. Yeah.
Somebody comes out with the documents and be like, "I got The Rock's contract right here. He is listed as a talent. He is not on the board. As a matter of fact, come on down here." And all of a sudden, fucking Nick Khan comes out and fires The Rock for impersonating being a part of the board.
Plot twist, Ava's the one who brings it out.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, and now all of a sudden his daughter is on the board.
I had access to my father's office, and I came across this document.
And I thought this was an interesting here in the bottom, written in fine print.
Booking it right now. But no, I've seen it thrown out, and I've even saw, and some folks I think are saying it because I think they eventually think that Stephanie and or Trips get rolled into some of these lawsuits and some of this litigation, and maybe TKO wants to sever ties with them. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's a possibility. Do I think it's going to happen? No, but I also don't think it's off the table.
Here's the other thing. Are these fake rumors being put out to discredit sources?
Yeah, maybe so.
All these things that are leading you to your opinion, these could be fake things WWE put out.
100% could be Trips could be behind all of it.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, Flanny, again, anything is possible in this world. I don't necessarily. I'm not going to 100% rule that out.
Dumb fucking move.
When you look at the fact that they genuinely are financially the most successful they've ever been,
here comes Trish. She's got her hat on.
Then justify dropping the guy responsible for that.
Yeah.
No, I agree, but also, why? Yes, to agree. Yeah, I agree with you there. Like, I don't know who they would bring in for creative that knows the business.
The new COO.
I don't know.
Again,
you think The Rock wants to be head of creative? I mean, it would be the definition of.
I think The Rock wants to do whatever The Rock wants to do when he wakes up that day.
I just think he'd book himself to be the champ all the time.
Yeah, that would be bad. That's actually very bad for business.
But no, it's terrible. But also, like, look at the way he's positioned himself through everything from Mania and all that with the belt and all the other things. Like, I guess you can say there's some tea leaves there.
That's why I'm leaning into that. My conspiracy theory that's actually just storyline.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so. But I'm curious. I don't know.
It's been, I love. There's been plenty to talk about. We're not going to have enough time to get to everything at all. So I'll. Do you guys have anything you want to get to before I kind of wrap things up here? Is there anything specifically that big enough that you think we missed? Because there's a lot going on. There's a lot, and I know we haven't talked. Next week's going to be our big Full Gear show for AEW. Where hopefully we have some stuff planned for you.
Also, spoiler alert, not spoiler alert, but we're taping this before this week's Dynamite even.
Exactly.
So, we're taping
we can't really talk about last week's because by the time you watch this, tonight's episode of Dynamite will already air. So that's kind of puts us in a tough spot.
Pretty much everything that happened on last week's Dynamite because this past few
weeks so many matches.
Have been a fucking blur.
Like
so I mean, shout out to the Hurt Syndicate.
Yeah, they're officially together.
The pop
now.
They began MVP and Lashley and shout out back together has been awesome.
Shout out to Darby Allin or Claudio throwing him as if like it was like that was we talk about we bring up the Rey Mysterio dart throw a lot, but like what Darby Allin must be made out of like titanium.
I don't understand and he also did not at all try to protect himself.
No, not at all.
He went full literally send like into just it. Threw literally full send. Like, he didn't even attempt to help himself out.
Me of when Big Show threw Rey Mysterio on the stretcher.
Yeah.
Oh
my god.
Except he didn't have a stretcher. He just did it himself. He was just like, fuck it, let's go full corpse on this. Yeah, that was insane. That was really cool.
But that is the perfect microcosm of the shit that drives me crazy of AEW is you have a spot like that is so good, but then right before that, Darby couldn't get his fucking harness off.
Yeah.
It took him 10 minutes and another person to come get his harness off. And it's just like the shit AEW does naturally is so good. And then somehow there's always a little thing where you're like, God damn it.
I mean, maybe it's just like don't go above and beyond.
Yeah, it's also though the fact that like they'll do that last week, but then Darby Allin this week will go out and wrestle like a 30-minute match.
Yes.
It's like, fucking really, man? Just sell a little bit.
Yeah.
I just always think back, they had Jack Perry get lit on fucking fire, and he was the one who got the pinfall to win that match.
I mean, you know where I stand on a lot. Listen, I am a fan of AEW.
Big fan of AEW. I love their in-ring product, but sometimes
it's been good
lately.
It's been good.
It's gotten me back.
Been good. This Death Riders and Mox storyline. I'm excited to see how it plays out. It's been good shit, but that's my thing. Is like. Sometimes just keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah, keep it simple, stupid. Don't try to reinvent the wheel.
Just let your performers perform.
Right.
Yeah, there's definitely been times that I've voiced on this show where some of the things where you want to suspend belief, but it's like, okay, how much you really want to suspend belief?
There is a limit.
There's a limit here, okay? Like, sell a little bit, people.
Right.
But whatever. That's neither here nor there. And I am excited for Full Gear. We're going to get more into that for next week. We'll wrap with, I do want to, we don't need to wrap with this, and we don't even really need to talk about it that long. I just want to say, Undertaker promoting a Genoa. How do you pronounce that properly?
Genoa, I think.
I say Genoa, but I think it's probably Genoa.
Italian.
I know it's pronounced Genoa salami.
Okay. Well, there you go. Genoa.
It's spelled the same way. So
right, exactly. Yeah.
You want to collab with the soccer team? First of all, I love it.
Yeah,
I love the Dead Man wearing a soccer kit. Was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I'm trying to get Tugboat to come do a crossover at RAFC.
That'd be lit.
That would be dope.
That would be lit. That's perfect collaboration there. Got anchors. Random club. Very random club.
Random.
I don't know. Somebody in their team is definitely a wrestling fan.
It has to be.
And was probably just like, well,
like,
I know Undertaker will take
club,
a bag.
if you follow soccer, you've heard of them.
Yeah,
you know a little bit about them. But if you're just like the average soccer fan, certainly not well versed in European soccer, you don't you don't know.
Yeah,
you
like
don't
in that
know.
league, I mean, you think Inter, Juventus,
Exactly.
AC Milan, even like Napoli. You're not thinking Genoa. Genoa. You're not thinking that, but shout out to Undertaker getting that bag. The kit has absolutely nothing to do with him. There's
no, it's just black.
There's no WWE. Yeah. There's no wrestling. There's nothing. It's just a black and gold, like yellowish.
Even the pictures of him are like funny because it looks like he doesn't know what to do.
Yeah, he's like, rah!
It's like, do I do my moves? Do I do my stuff? Because this isn't
do
really
I roll the eyes back in the head? No, people in Italy,
it's funny
they don't.
because you know what it reminded me of? The first thing I know, and it's funny because the opposite, he was in full gimmick, was when he showed up to the Cavs game in full.
Oh
Undertaker
yeah.
And that was so funny
Jimmy
and so
Fallon.
cool because also, again, everything is pro wrestling. Every fucking person backstage popped and couldn't wait to run up to him and see him in his full Undertaker
I wish
gear.
he leaned full Italy. And this may be a reference a lot of people may not get, but there was a shoot video of Kevin Nash doing a shoot interview, but the whole time he's eating, it's either chicken parm or lasagna, but like on camera, like just loudly, noticeably eating
Kevin
it.
Nash of him.
And I was like, I think it would have been great if in the pictures that's what Undertaker did. Just ate some chicken parm or some lasagna.
Out of an urn?
Just out of an urn. Yeah, absolutely.
That'd be good.
That reminds me of the time Kevin Nash did a big time wrestling show here in Pawtucket at McCoy. And I was able to go backstage and meet him, Mick Foley, and I went up to Kevin Nash, dapped him up. I was like, hey, Mike from Hot 106 in Providence, and I was like, you mind if we take a picture for our show? And he goes, you want to take a picture for a radio show? And I was like, well, for our social media. And he laughs, and he was cool. He was busting my balls.
Right.
So we take the picture, and we talk a few minutes, and as he's walking away, he goes, let me know what your listeners think of that picture when they hear it on the radio tomorrow. And I was like, that's such a Kevin Nash.
Yeah, exactly. That is exactly the interaction you want to have with him.
He wasn't being. It was funny. It was like, I love that. I love that I got the full Kevin Nash.
Being a dick about it. It was like him just having fun.
Just busting my balls.
But then that's why we love him. Like I know Puck recently had an opportunity to meet Kevin Nash and kind of hang with him for a little bit.
Yeah.
It was just like catching up with one of the boys.
He's a good dude, man. Yeah, he was cool as hell. Shout out to him. I want to wrap with this because I thought that this was pretty cool for wrestling fans to see, especially WWE fans. Kevin Owens dropped a pile driver last week on Randy Orton, kayfabe injury from it. Right. So they're going to put him away for a little bit. They said something with his neck vertebrae injury.
He sold the shit out of that.
Kayfabe sold the shit out of it.
So well.
But that also fucking put the pile driver over as hell.
Yeah.
Because this has been a move, obviously, we know in WWE.
11 years.
11 years.
Was the last time we saw a pile driver.
Been a long time. We know the history of that move in WWE.
CM Punk, John Cena, Monday Night Raw.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. I didn't know that.
Did a little research.
Was it on purpose, or did they kind of fell into it?
I'm not sure, but I remember CM Punk did an interview on another show, to not be named because it wasn't this one recently, and he talked about his favorite matches, and he mentioned him and Cena on Monday Night Raw. So I'm assuming it was that match. I don't remember what the stakes were or what was going on. I think it was towards the end of his tenure there. Right. But yeah, I don't remember what the significance of the pile driver was, but I did a little bit of research. That was the last time there was a pile driver on WWE television.
Damn.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen him bring it back, and I think that's going full heel. Obviously, it shows how much they trust Kevin Owens, because that was his finisher as Kevin Steen. Yeah. It was a small package pile driver.
He does it so good.
He does it so good. Awesome. He didn't do the full way he used to do it, though.
No.
It was kind of like
just so quick and vicious.
Yeah, so this was kind of like him falling back, obviously very protected, but it still looked fucking good.
And that's the thing. It looked like
And it
live,
popped me.
did.
I was like, oh shit.
100% live. It looked, and then you can see on the replay, obviously, he took so much care of him. He didn't even come remotely close to touching the mat, but that's why they're so good.
But that's why, and
it reminded me actually a lot of the Undertaker Tombstone in Hogan.
Yeah.
The one where Hogan jacked his neck up. Oh, that's what he says.
That's what he says.
Right. Even though his neck is like 8 feet off the fucking away from the mat.
Or the brutal jackhammer botch from which I know was it Chris Jericho said he hates the word botch. I'm sorry.
We don't have to apologize to that guy.
Yeah.
Right.
Fuck him. Nah, Jericho's a legend, but whatever.
He is.
But like, just also fuck him.
Yeah. So yeah, no, pretty cool, and I like to see that. I like to see that once in a while we got some blood back on WWE programming. We got pile drivers. What's next?
Right.
Unprotected chair shots 8 times from behind, like Mankind.
Hopefully not.
Yeah, I hope
no,
not.
never.
That's one I actually don't want to see come back.
Same.
No, but again, like pick this, and that was a perfect way to do it. Perfect guys to do it with.
Yeah.
Even everyone around, like Jason Jordan's, all the reactions from everyone, even through the EMTs. I remember it's so funny, and I don't know if this was on purpose, but I think it was them leaning into it when they all loaded up into the ambulance and nobody shut the doors.
Yeah.
The EMT was like, "Can you shut the door, please?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "That felt real.
That's
I
great.
love this.
That's
like
great.
that's how it should be. Everyone's panicking.
Shout out to
Nobody thinks to close the door.
Right.
If that wasn't planned, shout out to
that guy. Yeah,
local wrestler that was like able
thinking
to
on the fly.
Yeah. So good
So
shit.
well done. Yeah.
I will say though, I also hope they do it in moderation.
Oh no, that's
Like,
what I mean. Yeah, protect the
like-
shit out of it.
Like
Absolutely.
keep it
Big
Don't make
events.
that. Don't have Kevin Owens bring that back as his finisher.
No.
Like, Just
no,
every
no,
now
no.
and then he does it.
Like when you really like don't make it Randy Orton's punt,
Exactly.
where that kind of got overkilled a little bit too. But yeah, make it so that it's something
Make it
that's
early
lethal.
Randy Orton's punt, like the first few
Yeah,
punts.
when he was bald,
Yeah,
when he was just so evil.
but you also only
I
do
think it
it
was
like
Chris Van Vliet just shared that on his Instagram picture of 2009 Randy Orton. I'm like, oh, that guy
That's
was,
when he literally looked like a viper.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
looked like a badass.
Like,
Yeah.
especially his hairline, the way it was,
Yeah.
like that kind of curve. It was so.
back when he was also half his current size.
Yes.
Probably a third.
I was
I
gonna
mean,
say, I
yeah.
know.
Dude is a house.
It's crazy. And he's in the best shape of his life.
Yeah,
Fun week. Lot to look forward to next week. Hopefully, we have something lined up special for leading up to Full Gear for you guys. We will definitely have a show, but we might have some extra stuff as well. Some housekeeping stuff, like I mentioned earlier. We do have an Instagram now at EIPW Podcast. You can follow us there. You can follow us on X with that as well. I am going to make a TikTok eventually as well, probably tomorrow. So do the same there. Obviously, like, subscribe. Everything is Pro Wrestling on YouTube. It feels good to be back. We're going to be introducing some new segments.
Yeah, we got a few new segments coming. Obviously, that just encompasses the world of everything is pro wrestling. So 3 new segments coming your way next week. That kind of encompass that. Things that are happening outside of the quote-unquote wrestling world that are either impacting wrestling or you can feel it. Storylines that we're loving, things we want to bury, things we want to push. Just a couple reoccurring things. I think it'll help us kind of be honest in terms of our takes and what we bring back.
Yeah.
But also,
Yeah.
I think it'll help the viewer get involved and continue to give more takes and feedback. We love nothing more than hearing from you all.
Yeah.
Shout out to Chris, our main man, who always gives us input of every show. We love that. That makes us better. That makes us think of things we missed or didn't think of, or even just stuff that we might take for granted as
Right.
fans. Sometimes I think it's easy for us to categorize ourselves as smarks or other things that we're not thinking about that our viewers and our listeners are, and we want to be very conscious of that. So we're hoping these segments, being recurring segments, will help keep that dialogue going week to
Right.
week.
Yeah, which is exciting stuff. And make sure you go. I know podcasts revisiting previous ones can be tough at times because it's timely content, but we do have interviews up. We did one recently with Willow Nightingale, which we didn't get to promote because we had a little hiatus. She was fucking dope as hell.
But also
Awesome
so
interview.
pertinent. That interview and also the Orange Cassidy interview,
Yes.
timing-wise, was amazing because
Yeah.
the storylines are in. Cassidy's fighting for the belt at Full Gear.
Yep.
And a lot of the stuff he said in that interview is more real than ever, and we're seeing unfold in real time, similar with Willow and even Claudio's interview that we did before that really alluded to some of the things we're seeing now. So, yeah, go back and check those out because there's I think some nuggets in that folks will appreciate for what's happening in ring, but also all 3 of those interviews absolutely encompassed everything is pro wrestling, and we were able to, either as a collective or you, Mike, being able to connect with Orange Cassidy and Willow, get outside of the ring and share some really cool aspects of them that I think the average fan will appreciate them more as just human beings.
right.
Yeah, for
Also,
sure.
watch the old podcast. Maybe we were wrong about something.
yeah,
You can
no,
throw
yeah,
that
yes.
back in our faces.
100%. Clip it and
Please.
tell us you
Yeah.
guys are dumbasses.
Absolutely.
I would love
Be like,
that.
Hey, dipshit, this didn't happen.
Yeah, you guys suck.
Yeah.
But we try really hard to suck for you.
Exactly.
So make sure you like and subscribe. Share with your friends. Tell everybody to follow us at EIPW Podcast on both X and Instagram, and of course here on YouTube, Kayfabe Cousins. You guys are the best. Feels good to be back.
Episode 30 next week.
Episode 30.
Right. There's a lot of good 30s to choose from.
Yeah.
So
that means next week the podcast hits its midlife crisis.
True.
Yeah.
Should I buy a 30 rack and we have to finish it before the end of the show?
No, because I have to drive home after.
That's a good point.
Actually, I don't know that I'm available.
I couldn't do that anyways. So yeah.
Jesus.
Anyways, I'll find somebody who can. Well, maybe we'll have somebody that's here just to kill a 30 rack.
We get those turkeys.
You know,
maybe those turkeys come back.
Oh, they haven't been back in a while.
We feed them all that 30 racks.
You realize
it's a lot easier for Thanksgiving dinner.
Well, you know it's in a couple.
I don't
weeks.
think there'd be enough for all of the turkeys. Is the problem? I think we need multiple 30 racks for that.
Yeah.
There are so many turkeys.
Yeah, I have a feeling the turkeys are probably no longer with us at this point.
Yeah.
Or they found their way down south.
Wild turkeys, though.
They may have in your deep freezer.
They may have found their way to survive.
I hope so.
The turkeys hibernate? Is that a thing?
Fly south? Do they fly?
They do fly. I've seen one fly before. It is a sight.
Were you trying to actively kill it when it was flying away?
Yeah.
No, it was just in my sister's yard once, and then it just flew into the trees.
Have you hung out with Dick Cheney lately?
Yeah, he shot me in the face.
There you go. Very good. Everything's pro wrestling, baby. Kayfabe Cousins, Mike D. We'll see you guys. We'll see you guys back here next week. Peace.